I mean, I could see Jeff for a really long time, and like, it's hard to gauge distance too out there because you're like, oh, he's right there, like we were talking about, like, and then it's actually, there's like 5 switchbacks or whatever.
And I knew she is tough, she's a veteran. She's run 14 something at Javelina. So in runnable stuff, she's really fast. And so I knew she was like, I knew she wouldn't, and she's really mentally tough. So I knew she wouldn't like give up.
Right. I mean, I don't like, I'm not like trying to be competitive, but I'm not gonna like purposefully relinquish where I am. I mean, I only jokingly shit talked Jeff once at an aid station. They told me he was like, you know, just ahead, and I was like, he's running scared.
So I was pushing, and then you're running scared, and then you're not sure how far back someone is.
He would stop to use a bush or a cactus or whatever, and then like I would catch more up, and then he would like take off.
You know, one of my favorite quotes, one of my heroes is Steve Prefontaine, and you know, middle distance runner in the 70s that died from the US. And one of his famous quotes is like, there might be people that can beat me, but they're gonna have to bleed to do it. And I always like play that in my head. Like, okay, if she's gonna beat me, she's gonna have to bleed.
I chose to do Coldwater. One, because it's a great like middle of the winter trainer. They changed the course this year, so come back to check out the new course. I'm also training for Cocodona 250 this year, so in May. So this is kind of a build for that.
It has no chance.
I am getting ready to run a 6-day event with Lululemon called Further in March, and I wanted an early season 100-miler that I'm coming into tired and in the middle of training. My pre-race anxiety was pretty high leading up to this race, and part of that is because you're just thinking about the thing that you're trying to do. And so the closer we get, the more relieved you are, because we're like, oh, I finally just get to do it. You know, my sister told my niece and nephew recently that I'm the queen of trying hard. And I think that that's a really good reminder for everybody is this is about trying, right? Like, just get out there and try. It's not about holding on to what happens in the end. It's just giving your best effort on the day. And that can look like a lot of different things. But if you keep your focus on trying, I think that that'll get you where you want to go.
Got a few aid stations on the course. Your first one's going to be 5-ish in at Gila. It's a smaller aid station because you got a long ways to go after that.
Oh my God,
Once you get on the blue loop, the longest stretch, so you'll hit here at like mile 19 or 20. You got a 9-mile stretch that you got to do 3 times. That's the longest distance between aid. It's pretty nice and smooth trail.
Knowing you're here, I know I
After
can't
you hit
win
that
now.
Rainbow Valley infamous corner wash. It's a nice beachy. You got 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go. In addition to Andrew Blaze running his first 100 of the year, we got Devin Yanko, we got Jeff Browning, Carl Meltzer, we got Moorhead State's own Jack Schrader back this year. Let's go, 100-milers! Aaron Barber. I'm the new race director for the Coldwater Rumble. We changed up the course a bit this year. Brand new venue, start-finish location, and new courses. This new venue gave us a lot more room to expand the race. It gives the runners a chance to run through the crew zone every time, each lap, and we have access to more trails out here. So we have a small red loop, a bigger blue loop. The old race was 5 loops that were 20 miles, switched directions. It was kind of chaotic and confusing. This is a lot cleaner setup, and it's more challenging. We got some more punchy climbs, a little bit more rocks and everything like that too. And on the plus side too, runners get to see their crew every loop.
Before I came to Coldwater, I had talked to Annie Hughes, who had won last year or 2 years ago. And the way that she described the old course, I was a little bit intimidated, but like knowing that they had made it a faster course and were working to kind of make it like the winter javelina, I was more intrigued. I mean, this course has almost twice the climbing, I think. I really enjoyed the course. It kind of balances being like super crazy fast with like having, you know, those elements of like you're running through sand, you're like in these washes, you're on rockier terrain, like you have to pay attention and you can't, like you can definitely still cruise, but like not in the same way as you can at Javelina. I think this is a great course for people who like Javelina and maybe just want to dial back the runability just a little bit more.
I think Aravaipa does a really good job, of organization, creating kind of a social atmosphere as well. I mean, the cool thing is no matter where you go race, it's always kind of the same kind of markings, the same kind of similar setup, so you know what to expect. It's definitely one of the top race management companies in the U.S. for sure. They're definitely pioneering and pushing the envelope as far as like organization and experience.
They balance trying to expand their brand and have a lot of races, but they still have a community vibe. So it's like they can make a race be really competitive and bring in a lot of people. And yet, when you walk up to the start, you still know people, you still have your friends there. It still has the essence of the sport. And I think that they're balancing that really, really, really well. Even at their biggest events like Javelina and Black Canyon, like you still have that vibe.
With 100 milers, I think you get either a very runnable race or a challenging race which turns into a power hike. And this race has a little bit of both. But I've talked to a lot of the runners that said they're surprised at how much runnable sections there is with still being very challenging.
You spend a lot of time looking at the ground because you're like, if I don't, I will die.
There's no major climb, which is probably the hardest part of this course.
Because I like more vert. I'm typically a mountain runner, but I like coming here to push myself.
Really early on, I actually came into one of those like washes that's like straight down, straight up, and I like almost blew out both my hamstrings. There was like deep sand on part of the course and like lots of rocks. So you're like, there is a view and I am looking just like right there.
But there's also no flat spots. So it just constantly beats you up with washes and small little rollers, and you can just never get good footing either. A lot of rocks.
You run 99% of this course, so you just have to like really focus on running. And that puts you out of your comfort zone.
The section from the start-finish line to Rainbow Valley aid station, our most remote aid station, it's a 9-mile stretch without aid, and they 100 milers have to do that 3 times.
this is my 24th season in the sport, and I really know how to take care of myself. So I'm just trying to manage that and not make any stupid mistakes. Devin was like right on me, and I know she's fast in like runnable stuff, and I knew she was, you know, training like crazy right now, and she's pretty fit. So I knew it would be a tougher race this year. Yeah, she isn't gonna give it to me. And especially like, I think too, anytime that gender gap is so, it closes in the 100. And I don't know, if I was a girl, I would be really, really motivated to beat a dude. Like, I'm gonna get the overall win. So I knew she'd be really motivated, and I knew she'd push. And so I knew I needed to push. You know, anytime someone's like right on your tail and you can see them through the desert because the desert's open, you're like, oh, they're right there, like 2 minutes back, a minute back. So Devin was like right behind me for the first half. And then after you get the lead, it's a catch-22. It's nice to be in the lead, but then all of a sudden you're like mentally managing that.
0.2 mile loop through the crew zone after every single lap that you do. And they're still doing the 100 miles to do 2 red loops, a shorter loop, and 3 long blue loops. So they get a chance to see their crew on course multiple times.
I have an analogy with my coaching clients that, like, you know, think of your thoughts as seeds that want to germinate, and you have positive and negative seeds, or positive and negative thoughts. And which one are you going to spend time on, because your time is water. So which one are you going to water? You're going to water the because you're going to have negative thoughts during a race. So which are you going to water? You're going to water the negative thoughts, you're going to water the positive thoughts. And so you have to sometimes even be your own coach in your head, talk in third person, you know, Jeff, you can do this, come on.
I have never successfully finished 100 without a crew and pacer.
Do it, getting the job done. Wait, hold on. How are you?
I mean, it's a big deal because like it is a lot harder to not have help, which is why even just having a woman who's running 100K, like her crew there, it's like, it's just a human being to be like, how are you doing? I was really worried that that would be problematic for me, because in the past, when I've tried to do hundreds without crew or pacer, when something comes up, that I'm like, I need to stop. Like, who's gonna talk me out of it?
Be about 6 minutes behind Sam and 2 minutes behind Jeff.
You ready?
But leading the women's race, she's got 54 to go.
Feeling it, but also keep trying to slow down. Like, all day pace, all day pace, all day pace. But it's interesting. My legs are moving. My brain's like, I could stop. Where am I gonna stop out here? That's the question.
Hundreds are weird because you have all these mental conversations with yourself constantly, because there's part of you that's like, oh, I just want to slow down. I just want to slow down. I don't want to run this hard anymore. But there's this other part of you that's having this conversation that's like, no, how bad do you want this? Do you want to win? Do you want another win? Come on. You're just going to give this up? Now you're in the lead? Like, right? So you're always having a weird conversation in your head, or at least I am. And you're always trying to push down the negative thoughts.
I always listen to music in hundreds, but I usually listen to it for a shorter period and then like have pacers, and that's how I kind of break up a race. But I just, you know, had my rave music on.
Tell Jen I need headphones and gloves.
Headphones and gloves.
Yeah. And just have long sleeve out. Just I don't know if I'm gonna need it, but have that out too. Those 3 things.
Okay, got it.
Thanks.
Yep.
Awesome job. Thanks, bring it home.
Phew! You again too.
Let's get it.
It hurts to run 100 miles, especially up front when we're pushing. It's mind over matter. You're just trying to push.
Woo woo!
All the way up.
Let there be light.
Our brains are so consistent. Generally, my body is not the issue, and when my body is the issue, it's usually my mind that's still the problem, because my mind's like, I am in pain, I would like to stop. You have to come with a strong mental game and a strong resolve to get it done.
He's like, when I describe him to people, it's like he's like a scientist, you know, like he's still doing it, and he's done what it takes to stay at that level, and he's just an elite guy, like, regardless.
This new Coldwater course I liked better than the old course. The 2 little short red loops are over really quickly, and then you just have 3 big loops. Obviously, by the last loop, you're kind of like, oh, I gotta go 27 miles on the same. You know what's coming. But it is kind of nice in the dark because you've done it. And so there was tons of sections where I would be like, I didn't even like, it was like on autopilot because you've already run it twice.
I'm in our long kick dirt loop, and he's going to be starting his last blue loop. 27 miles to go for Mr. Jeff Browning, Bronco Billy.
Do you want me to run out with you again?
Yeah, you can.
All right, cool. Same loop?
Yeah.
All right, nice.
Luckily here, it's like a lollipop. This like little 3 miles of like the same out and back on this blue loop. So, you know, you at least can see how close someone is. So every time I would come through here and start finish, I knew someone was like, you know, I could look at my watch when I'm leaving the aid station and go, okay, Devin's, you know, 11 minutes back. And she was only 11 minutes back at the last blue loop, so 27 to go. And she had moved into second.
And I kind of was like, okay, I'm like more than 10 minutes back. And like, I don't have a pacer. I didn't even have I didn't technically have a crew. I had some people who helped crew me, and they weren't there on that last loop. So I had to do like everything on my own, which takes a lot of time. And when you're like, I don't have a lot of brain power, I want to make sure I have everything. Well, I was diagnosed with lupus like a month before Javelina in 2022. I was put on some crazy medication, and that was one of the factors for last year. Like last year, I was on like insane immune suppressive drugs, and like, I mean, I'm probably the only person to ever win a race like Javelina and then go home and take chemo drugs, which is what I did, because that was what I was on at the time. I'm like, well, can't sleep, might as well take these drugs. They're gonna make me feel like crap anyways. So there were, I think, 12 races that I had signed up for that I didn't end up getting to. And so the whole year was like a series of pivots, right? Like I was supposed to do Houston Marathon last year. Like on my way to Comrades, I got COVID for the first time. And so because I was on immune suppressants, literally on a drug that says, do not get sick on it, I basically came home, got on the antiviral, felt better, but got rebound COVID, so I was sick for a whole month. The whole year was like, I am trying so hard just to like get to the race and like get to the race not feeling terrible. And it just continuously just felt really frustrating, you know? And then to be able to finish this race, like it feels really good to be like, okay, like I can I finally feel like I'm getting a little bit of a break, but I get tired of explaining myself because people don't really understand autoimmune stuff very well. And I'm like, you just kind of are like, okay, fine, you can have whatever opinion you want, but like, I'm just over here trying not to die, pretty much, like literally, so yeah.
What's that? Yeah, how much time we have on her?
Thank you.
Great job, great job, Devin.
It's going great. My headphones died like 9 miles into my last loop, and I was like, okay, it's dark and it's quiet and I'm all alone and okay.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm not mistaken, you're in first place.
I am.
Yeah, nice. You're gonna win, man.
Yeah, buddy. Woo.
We knew
We
it.
pushed. She's strong, though.
Yeah, she just.
She's really strong. She's always been
She was
strong.
like 3 minutes away from you a while ago, and then like you just like pushed her. She was going.
Taking the W, looks like a time of 15 hours and 45 minutes, just like he said he would do yesterday. Great run, Jeff. Giddy up. Dude, 15:45, nothing like calling your shot yesterday. What is it? Yeah, oh my god. 10:45. Yeah, you're easy to, I know, like, oh, Jeff should be coming any second. Here you are, so. How was it?
It's so hard, man. All the washes and so punchy.
Yeah, there's no,
rocky.
like, there's no one big climb. It's just never flat.
I think a lot of people rely on motivation to be like, oh, I can't do that. You know, it's too hard, it's whatever. Like, I feel bad most of the time, right? Like, I wake up in the morning and like, apropos of nothing, who knows, it's because the weather is this, like that. And like, I don't wait to be motivated. I just do the thing and say like, my goal is worth doing this thing. And I think waiting to be motivated to do something is kind of a bad way to frame things, because like, are you motivated to go to work on Monday? Like, no, like you still go, right? Like, because you want to pay your bills, you are obligated to your job, maybe you like your job, right? And I think I take more of a business approach to running, where it's like, am I ill in such a way that I shouldn't be doing this thing? And I'm like, okay, no. And it's like, will not running solve my problem? Also no. Okay, I'm gonna go, sounds like I'm going for a run. And like, I think we kind of view running as like, it has to be perfect and I only can do it if I can run this fast, and if I don't feel well, like there's something ethically wrong. It's like, just go do the thing, and that's how you build the skill, and that's how you get better. That's how it gets easier. And I think kind of reframing away from motivation can be really profound.
It didn't make me, with her that close, it didn't make me nervous, it just made me motivated. You can only do what you can do in a race. So like the whole time I'm thinking, I'm pushing, this is all I can do, this is the best I can do. And if she has a better day, then that's the way that chips fall, and I'm okay with that, you know, at the end of the day. If she had had a better day, if she had been stronger than me that day, then that's the way it is.
I'm super excited. I'm really happy how the event went today, and we have a great platform to grow from here.